Okay, today is stage 5. This is 506. I had a long endurance session 2 days ago. I'm feeling pretty good. I rested yesterday. Looks like this is a very small field, 7 racers again. We'll see how it goes. Alright, I'm about to get started on this stage 5 as I mentioned. And the field actually ended up being a bit bigger than I thought it would be initially. There were 14 racers total, so that changes the dynamic a bit. The race started off relatively fast, which is something I'm getting used to. I think I can tell the conditioning is helping because my heart rate isn't as high as it normally would be. I ended up getting an anvil here, which didn't really help me very much because the course is pretty flat. There is one climb that's pretty long, but I didn't want to save the anvil to the other side of the climb. I didn't know if there were any more drops and that I might get a feather, but no, it was only one. My goal pretty early was to stay with the front group. Because it's such a small field, I felt like I had a chance, as long as I could hang on. Alright guys, I don't think I mentioned it before, but now would be a great time to hit that like button and subscribe, and then hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. Thanks. As we're climbing, I'm starting to notice that I kind of have a little bit of an advantage, and I tend to shoot off the front, so I think I'm riding with some heavier riders. I weigh 63 kilos, so yeah, I think climbing in this situation might help me out. I used my anvil because there was no point in saving it, and again, I thought there was a possibility of getting another power up before we got to the climb. Okay, we're approaching the climb, and I'm trying to keep a steady pace. I just want to stay with the group. But I also don't want to slow down my cadence. I want to try to keep it as high as possible. And I'm starting to notice that, as I mentioned, I do have an advantage on the climb. And the gap between me and the person behind me is growing. So of course that's motivating. I'm definitely putting out some power numbers driven by adrenaline, and I'm out of my comfort zone, but I'm motivated. So I'm pushing myself a bit, hoping to have some time to recover when it's less steep, and also just putting some pressure on the riders behind me to keep up. The heart rate is pretty high. I still have a little bit of room, but this is not a pace or a tempo that I'm comfortable with holding. But I know with the power I'm putting out right now, I could sustain it for about an hour comfortably because it's right around my FTP. So the goal is to just kind of stay at that pace for as long as I can and see what happens. Even though it looks like I have a pretty good advantage at this point, I know that I can't slow down because I am a lighter rider. So the other riders tend to catch up when I'm on a flat or when we're going downhill. And I know we got a pretty steep descent coming up. So I'm just trying to give myself a little bit of buffer so that doesn't bite me in the ass. Here, I tried to catch my breath for a little bit and go into a super tuck, but it didn't happen, so I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe I wasn't going fast enough. And I also realized the rider behind me was also putting out some pretty decent power, and the gap was starting to get smaller. The rider behind me is coming up fast. There's now only a 5-second gap, so I'm definitely nervous. So I start putting down even more power as much as I can. 3.6 kilometers left, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you've been pushing as hard as I have for as long as I have, it definitely adds up. So here I am, emptying out the tank, pushing as hard as I can, hoping to hold on to the lead, but I know that it's not flat towards the end, so I have to have a little bit left in the tank to get to the finish line. And the guy behind me is definitely wanting to show me up. So on this last little bit, I dug a little bit deeper, gave it everything I had, and pushed. The last 400 meters were the hardest, but I was able to hold on and get my first win in a Zwift race, and it was awesome.
Yeah. First place. Did not expect that. Oh, that was awesome.
And a nice little bonus, I bumped up my FTP by 1 watt. Every little bit counts. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed racing it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So take care, and I'll see you guys later. Love you, bye!